In another video, I talked about theme frameworks for WordPress. They're kind of like parent themes on which you build child themes. But these frameworks literally don't have their own real design. They're just the basics with lots of extras that you can add on which you hang your child theme. Let's take a look at one of them right now and see how they might work for you creating your own custom theme. I want to look at Gantry. Now this started out as a theme framework for Joomla and then moved to WordPress as well. And it takes a very interesting approach to how to structure the framework. What it does is it uses widget areas in a very special way. So I'm now in the Gantry settings. Let me just slide this over because it's a bit wide. I don't have a very wide screen here. You see this top position. Think of this as a widget area. And notice it says positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, same for the header position. These are actual areas you can create within a widget area. They're like sub-widget areas in a way. Now the number you see here, 2 and the number 4, those are actually just put in there to get you started. They don't actually exist, and I'll show you why. If I go over to my widget area here and I bring down header, so that's our header position that we were just looking at. There's actually nothing in there, so there really aren't 4 divisions yet. I'll show you how to make some divisions. Let's say I want to put in, I'm just going to grab a logo here. This is actually Gantry's own logo. Doesn't really matter right now. We just want a logo, and I'm going to save it. And then what I do is I grab this, a divider widget, and I put this in here. And then I'm going to say put in a copyright notice. I drop that in there. Save that. Now look what happens when I do this and I go back over to here and I refresh this now. Notice what happens to header position here. Now it says 2. There we go. A and B. When I mouse over it, look at there's 2 numbers there, 6 and 6. This is a 12 area grid system. So everything here has to add up to 6 plus 6, in this case to 12. If I slide it over, I can say devote the first position only 4 sections and give 8 sections to the B area. So these different positions can actually be adjusted by you to give them more or less width on the grid. Now let's have a look at our actual page and see what this layout looks like. There we go. So now there's our logo that we added and our copyright notice. If I go back over to here and let's say I want to add in navigation, I've got a navigation area. Now this one I'm only going to want 1 position. I don't need multiples on this particular one. But let's say for example I go like this and I drop in my menu. There's a whole lot I can control on my Gantry menu. How many children to show and so forth. The menu opacity, animation, offsets, all of those sorts of things. Not going to worry about those right now. I just want to save it, and I go back over to here and I refresh, and now my menu bar appears there. So that's another element that we're adding to it, and we just keep adding all the different elements that we want. And as you can see, we have a lot of widget areas. There's main top, so that's over top of both the content and sidebar areas. If we have any sidebar area, of course. Content top immediately before the content. Content bottom right after it. Lots and lots, even mobile sections as well. So there's a lot of flexibility here, and you can add your own widget areas if you really want to, if you want to get in and customize it even further. Let's go back over to here and talk about styling. This is a basic styling area, and this covers general colorings. But you're really using a style sheet, which you can control. You could go in and change those style sheets, and you've got your choice of 4 from here. So in effect, you almost don't need a child theme in a way. You could do that simply by these different style sheets. And you can add custom CSS in here as well. That's beyond the style sheet if you didn't want to actually go in and physically edit the style sheet. Now, what about changing things on particular pages? Well, they make it easy to do that through what are called overrides, and I've created one already, so let's just go in and have a look at that. Now I haven't got anything going right now style wise, so I click on this and it checks off style, and I can choose this. So again, what it's saying is I'm going to override the style sheet from the default. Here I'm going to override the background color. You don't have to override everything. It could be just the style sheet, for example. And layout, you could also override layouts as well. And then what you do is you assign this override to various places. Now let's get rid of home page. I don't want to have it on the home page. Let's say I'm going to do it on the, let's say on the Contact Us page. I'm going to add to assign, and you'll see it up here. Now this is one of the assigned ones. I go back to my style, and I'm going to select style number 2, and let's save all our settings here. If we go back to our site, here's our regular page, and then when I click over to Contact Us, now it's in a different style. That's style number 2. And I could do different things to this page because I now have a different layout as well. I could change the layout on it. Anything I want under this custom override is totally open to me. So again, you've got the ability to change the look within a single theme. But I think you can tell by now there's a learning curve to these frameworks, some of them steeper than others. But the important point is, you're not going to use this for just one project. You've got to decide, is this a framework I can live with over many different projects? And of course, as you become more proficient, your development time becomes a lot easier too. So that's very important when you're looking at a theme framework. Is it flexible enough for what I need? Is it simple enough for me to learn? And is it something that I really enjoy using? Because this is a tool you're going to be using a lot as you build WordPress sites. So some things to consider when you're thinking about using a framework to build your custom theme.